All right, good morning. Hi, everyone. Hello there. Welcome to a brand new week and another free live training on the Successful Hairstylist podcast. I'm Ren Lopa, the founder of the Successful Hairstylist podcast and community, and of the step-by-step program to get clients, luxury client method. I am so excited to be here with you guys. Today, we are doing one of your favorite things to tune into, listen to, and watch, which is some Instagram updates. So Instagram, as you guys know, it is almost constantly like changing things in the background, kind of like tweaking different features, updating their algorithm, everything like that. And so I really want to go over kind of what are some of the big changes that have happened in the past couple months, and what are the most important things to pay attention to as you're growing your business, right? It's like, what can you kind of ignore and what can you continue to use to actually grow your business, get more local visibility on your content and everything like that. I mean, what I always think about is like, if you're going to be spending time putting together pretty photos, writing these captions, like creating content, I want you to have the best opportunity to get it in front of as many people as possible, right? Like that's why we're doing all of this. So for those of you that are here with me, feel free to drop your Instagram questions and I will go through and kind of answer as we're going through some of this. But okay, so let's go ahead and jump in. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. So I have 8 Instagram updates, and then I'm gonna be kind of sharing my thoughts on everything like as we go through them. Okay, so one of the biggest updates that has come out is with carousels, okay? And this sort of surprised me, but not really. I think why it might surprise you guys is because over the past couple of months, well, really for the past couple of years, I feel like everyone is obsessed with reels, right? They're like, you have to be on camera, you have to do reels, you need to get out there. Reels are gonna give you the most reach, engagement, like organic visibility, everything like that. But really what I have found in my own business, what I've seen for the stylists that I work with, is that carousels continue to do super, super well, and at times pretty equal with reels that we're putting out. So them putting focus into updating carousels didn't surprise me, just because I know how well they work in my own content. So with carousels, there were 2 major updates, okay? So we have, now you can have more slides in your carousel. So before it was like 10 slides, now you can have up to 20. Okay, so again, this is showing me that they want us to be posting photos. They want us to be sharing tips and content. They see how much people enjoy kind of going through and looking at all of that, okay? The second update with carousels, and this one was really like literally just announced, is that when you add music to your carousel, it is now going to be recommended as if it was a reel. Okay, so I'm gonna say that one more time because it sounds weird. When you add music to your carousel, it is now recommended as if it were a reel, okay? And I don't know if it also is going on your Reels feed, but essentially in the Explore page and everything like that, it is going to be promoted by the algorithm as if it was a reel. I personally love this. Again, I think carousels are so easy to consume, especially if it's those like quick, valuable tips. I think that they just do amazing. Okay, so that's the first 2. Then now another new update is that we have where people can leave comments on your stories. So how it has been, and you have to turn this feature on, but like how it has been up to now is if somebody comments on your story, it just goes to your DMs, right? Super cool. I've never had like a thought about that. You know, I'm like, that's fun. But now the comments can be displayed publicly. So as you're going through stories, you're probably going to start noticing this where it's a story, let's say it's just a cute selfie, and you're going to see the comments. So it's going to be a screen name and literally as if it was comments on a post right in that bottom left corner. And then you can leave the same thing. Again, I think that this is really cool. And with hairstylists specifically, so like if we were going to look at this as like a way to grow our business, which is kind of my lens for you guys always, is doing this on those other local small businesses stories, right? So leaving thoughtful comments, hyping them up, sharing that love in their stories so that as their local audience is viewing their stories, they're also going to see your name, maybe be intrigued about you, check out your profile and be like, hey, this person's freaking amazing. Like, and she's local. I want to go and check her out. So really using it in terms of like gaining access to other people's audiences that are already in your area. So think about other estheticians, spas, nail techs, and then of course your local restaurants, local bars, event venues, like so many local places that align with, you feel like you kind of overlap with the people that you're attracting. I really think that that would be a great way to do this. Okay, so another new update is we can now have multiple links in bio, okay? And this has been out for a little bit, but I wanted to cover it here just because I wanted to kind of caution you guys to not go overboard, okay? So up until now, many of us, I was even using it probably last year, but we've been using like Linktree, right? And that can give you basically like endless links that you can share and direct people to things. But here's the thing with multiple links, okay? In marketing, clarity is everything, okay? The more options we give someone, the less likely they are to take any action at all, right? They get overwhelmed, they don't know, they get distracted, they forgot what they were even doing, right? So I want to caution you guys to not go overboard with how many links you're actually putting in there. For example, if some of you have an Amazon store, or if some of you have even like an online retail where you make like 10%, right? You're making like $1 off of each sale. What I wouldn't want to happen for you is that somebody comes to book an appointment with you, which could be $150, right? Your average ticket. And instead they get distracted by your $1 sale that you have. And then now they're over there on a tangent and they forget to book that appointment with you. So be careful, use like wisdom. And on that flip side, if you are doing online booking, I would just say in your comments and your stories or however that works, be very specific what you want people to click on, right? If you have multiple links, don't be afraid to be like, click my booking link, right? Like be very specific because we don't want to lose opportunities because we're trying to be everything, right? So be careful with that. The fun thing is that if you do have a verified account, you can have images with these links. And I think that that can help. Like, yes, they have all the options, but the main option is going to have like the pretty image and it's going to be way more like enticing for somebody to click on. Okay, so another new feature is that we can now edit our DMs, which I put this in here just because like, thank God, right? Like, it is so annoying when you do like comments or DMs and things and you have a bunch of typos or whatever. So they have had where you can unsend DMs for a while. So that was kind of my go-to where it's like, okay, I'll unsend this, retype it. But at the same time, what happens, it looks kind of weird, right? The other person can see you sent something and then unsent it, and they might wonder what that's all about. So now we can actually, you just hold down the message and it'll give you that option to edit the DM right there. Love that. Think that is super practical and easy. Okay, another thing that you guys have probably been seeing is that we can now add notes to posts or reels, okay? And so what this looks like is you're scrolling down your feed, and when you see an image, you can actually see someone you follow. So this is going to be people, I believe it's people who you follow back that follow you or something like that. I don't think it's just like fully public to everyone who follows you, but you're scrolling your feed and then you can see a friend of yours, someone that you follow, their opinion, perspective right up on the post. So instead of seeing in the comments, like usually the people we follow, we can see their comment kind of like top of the thing just because they are someone we interact with. But now this is having an even bigger spotlight. So one of the things that this tells me about Instagram and what they're trying to do is they want us to reciprocate the following more, right? So if this is a tool that I want to use in my business, again, commenting on other local businesses' pages, getting their audience to see kind of my comment like front and center and everything like that. It's like a way of staying in people's line of sight, even when it's not literally my post, it's someone else's post. What this is telling me is that they want us to follow people back. So the old school way of thinking about following was like, if you were someone who even had an equal followers to following, it was like, ooh, right? If you were someone who had more followers than you were following, then you were cool. Okay, now I think that this has just totally gone out the window. Nobody cares about that anymore. So if you are still operating under this thought process of like, well, I can't follow too many people, I can't follow too many people back because it looks weird, that is not what's happening anymore. So not only is there an added benefit of getting to have more people see some of these new features that Instagram has, but it's also just not as relevant as it was before. In fact, in this like day and time, I've even heard younger generations say that it almost makes you look bad. It makes you look like you're not like a girl's girl, right? Like you just want people to follow you. You don't care about following them back. So if anything, it's going to help you to follow more people back, etc. So very interesting way to kind of motivate people to be more interactive in that way versus just, I'm trying to get my following, right? It's more like, how can we create more collaborative experiences on Instagram? Again, how I would use this as a local salon, a local hairstylist trying to get clients, I would comment on those local businesses. Obviously, we're going to show up positively. We are going to hype up other businesses and their clients. And then this is, again, it's just going to show people we're a positive part of the community. We support like community over competition. Like we're just here. And I think it could be really cool. Okay, so these last two updates have been around for a minute, but I really wanted to talk about them because I think that if you use these strategically, they can really support you in growing your business, okay? The last one is my personal favorite. But okay, so you can now schedule your reels and posts right from Instagram, okay? So the way that you do this, if you haven't started doing this yet, is with your reel, you would go to advanced options, okay? So once you've done your caption, you've put in, a couple of hashtags, you've tagged people, whatever, you keep scrolling down, you're gonna see advanced options, and then that is where you can actually schedule your post and when it can post. This has gotten really good. I feel like at this point, I can recommend it confidently and say that it's going to work. The first while that it was out, I would schedule things and they wouldn't go and it was super frustrating, but they have really gotten this down to where it works. The benefit of this is that you can get rid of those third-party publishing apps. You can save money by not having them. And Instagram is, like Meta in general, whatever, Instagram is always going to favor their own apps, options and services, right? So if it's being published from a third party, can we like guarantee that it's not being shown that it's being shown less? It could be, but if you're publishing right from the app using their own tools and resources, you know that they're going to be pushing it as much as possible, okay? So I always recommend scheduling right within the app. So you can also do this with your posts too. Okay, and then this last one, this is the 8th update that I absolutely love, is the Meta Insights, okay? So this is something that I use mostly from desktop, so I would recommend kind of looking at it there. I feel like you get the full experience of it there. But under Meta, so this is going to be like meta.business.com or whatever, you're going to be able to see advanced insights about your Instagram and your Facebook business page, if that's something you're using a lot. And what it can show you is even averages of the industry, right? So compared to other people in your area, compared to other people with similar accounts to you, this is how kind of everything is stacking up. It also has a lot of cumulative data. So for example, when we just go to like the professional dashboard in Instagram, we're seeing our last 30 days, which can be really helpful. But in Meta, it'll say this is this much better or this much worse than the last 30 days. This is this much better or this much worse than last year. And I think that that can be really helpful because, for example, as we're getting into the holiday season, we're going to have, slower things like with the election that just happened. We probably had a little less traffic, a little less client requests. People might have, not been as much in the mood to like be interacting with this. They had other things going on. So it's like, when we can compare apples to apples, I think that's really helpful. In Meta Insights, you can also set up a businesses to watch section of your page. And I've talked about this before, but I think it is really, really cool. In businesses to watch, you can set up other Instagram accounts to watch. And what this shows you is how many new followers they have grown or how many followers they've lost in the last 30 days, right? So kind of their current following, how many followers they've gained, how many followers they've lost. Now, why would you want to do something like this? In my opinion, this is just a small way that I keep myself motivated and inspired, right? So it is really easy when you are the only one in your business to lose motivation, okay? Especially if it's like a slower season or you've had a week of just hell where it's like cancellations and no-shows and just bullshit, right? It is easy to get demotivated. But going in and actually being able to see other local stylists, or let's say your educator celebrities, right, that you love in the industry, to be able to see what they're doing, I think can help a lot. We can get stuck in our own emotions of like, nobody's growing right now. Nobody is, getting new followers or getting new clients or whatever, right? We can like get a little fog over our eyes where when we have that, we can literally see, oh shit, no, people are growing. Like I need to be out there keeping up. Like they are growing. Why can't I be growing? I know for me, I have one of my mentors that I have invested in masterminds and different things with. She's on there. And I'll tell you what, if I'm like, oh, it's just a slow season of growing my following, I see what she's doing and she's still getting like 10,000 new followers a month. It kind of takes away our excuses and like regrounds us in the possibility. On the flip side, when we are having seasons of high growth, it can also just activate a little bit of like positive competition, okay? So this isn't like, I'm gonna beat you, like mean. It's more just like, oh my God, like I'm going to pass the amount of followers that she has, like in the next 30 days, oh my God. And then as your name goes and ranks higher in the list compared to these people that you're following or you admire, it just is like an extra boost of serotonin, right? It allows us to kind of gamify something that is very intangible most of the time. Now, our followers, everything, no, But as you guys know, if you've come to my workshop or if you've listened to some of my previous podcast episodes, growing your audience, your local audience consistently is the foundation of getting new clients and booking new appointments and continuing to grow your clientele. If we don't have new people finding us on a regular basis, it is really hard to continue to get new clients, right? Our personal network is going to tap out. So we have to have that ability to generate interest and visibility consistently. So that's why that's important. I think that's just a really fun thing to do. So yeah, that's in Meta Insights. Okay, so let's go over those just one more time briefly. These are the 8 Instagram updates that I believe are important in November of 2024. Okay, so number 1, carousels with music will now show and be recommended as a reel. So you are going to get the reel algorithm to now boost your carousels when you include music with them. Number 2, carousels can now have up to 20 slides, so they have increased this. In my opinion, this means that they see the value of carousels, and carousels have performed extremely well, so they definitely need to be a part of your strategy. Number 3, comments on stories can now display publicly in the story, okay? I shared how I would use that if I was growing my local clientele. Number 4, you can now have multiple links in bio. You might be tempted to go overboard, but don't. Keep it as simple as possible. Number 5, we can now edit DMs, so we don't have to unsend them and then write a new one and look kind of weird or awkward. We don't have to send the thing that fixes the typo with the asterisks. We can just edit the DM. I love that one. Number 6, we can add notes to a post or reel, and these notes will show up to people who follow us that we follow back. Again, my opinion of this is that Instagram is really encouraging us to not just focus on growing our following, but to connect with people, to mutually follow each other. And they're adding in perks and features that will only show to that, so I love that. Number 7, you can schedule your reels and posts. I think that they have perfected this at this point. So if you are trying to, nervous to schedule a reel, I think you are good to go. Using third-party apps can actually decrease your reach and visibility. So using what Instagram has not only saves you money, but works better, okay? And then the last one is just really using Meta Insights to understand what's happening in your business, and even that businesses to watch can kind of gamify a little bit and just add in another layer of like fun, playful competitiveness. And it's private, like nobody even needs to know you're competing with them. It can just be fun and playful. So just to finish this talk off, I still believe that the absolute best features of Instagram to be using to grow your business are going to be your highlights, okay? So, even with other things that can happen, I think having your highlights with an, about me and a salon tour and reviews, I feel like hands down, that is the best thing you could do for your page. It is going to right away tell somebody who finds you exactly like who you are and what you're about. I also think that pinned posts can do the same thing. With pinned posts, though, I challenge you not just to do a pinned post that's kind of about you, which is also cool, but I want you to have a pinned post that's super valuable so that when someone lands on your page, they're seeing right away that like you're bringing something to the table. You're not just here to sell something to them or anything like that. It's like, when you follow me, here's what you get. Here's what I am giving you on a regular basis. And again, I think this just like sets you apart instantly, okay? So that is my take on Instagram right now. I hope that this has been helpful. If you guys have any other Instagram features that you've been loving, definitely come to my DMs or comment on the replay of this live and let me know what you're paying attention to, what's been surprising you, what hasn't been working right now that's driving you crazy. It's at Ren Lopa Official over on Instagram, so I will see you guys there. So thank you so much for coming this week. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your week. And don't be afraid to go ahead and decorate for Christmas. Let's just do it. All right, bye guys.